Will Trump be removed from office? We're talking about that and a lot more on Black Hollywood Live's The Trend.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Black Hollywood Live's The Trend. I'm your host, Derrial, Christon, the last show of the year.
2019.
All right.
Last
2019. Of the decade. Isn't that crazy?
It's wild, Joe. Wow.
Well, joining me is a full panel today because we're going out with a bang.
Bang, bang.
Courtney Stewart.
What's up, y'all?
Alex Castillo.
Hey, everyone.
And Dana Vaughns.
What's poppin'?
So we got like an exciting show today. We're going to talk about your new projects, your music, your film, and some interesting topics because we're starting it off with a little bit of Trump Nation right now.
You know, we got to give a Trump date because we had some major occurrences this week. For those of you that were not up under a rock, you could not have not seen what went down yesterday because we finally got the impeachment hearing and votes that we were waiting for. And apparently the House has decided that Trump deserves to be impeached for his destructive behavior. He was impeached on 2 counts. One was obstruction of Congress, and the other was abuse of power. And it was completely partisan. There was really no surprise there. You know, Democrats were like, get him out. And the Republicans was like, he didn't do nothing wrong. And some highlights of the whole episode, because literally this is a reality show at this point. We had a representative from Georgia, I'm slightly embarrassed, my home state, that literally compared Trump to Jesus. He said that the Democrats were Pontius Pilate, and Pontius Pilate gave Jesus more, leeway than, the Democrats were trying to give Trump. And we didn't give him no kind of fair run of it. Tulsi Gabbard, who is actually running for the Democratic nomination, decided she didn't want to vote either way. She just couldn't make a decision, so she just voted present, that she was there and she wasn't going to vote yay or nay. But, then Brother Trump decided to go on his, I don't know what you call it, just like a pump me up tour maybe, and he proceeded after being impeached to say unkind things about dead people that had served the country in the past, and just going off, and there's lots of insiders saying that he's very upset and his feelings are hurt, he can't believe this happened, and he's so ready for the Senate trial so that he can defend himself. Were you guys surprised? Are you happy? Do you feel like we're headed in the right direction? What were your thoughts after?
I think it's the right direction. At the end of the day, what's going to happen in the hearing and all that is going to happen. Really don't know. Now it's really up in the air. But I think at least beyond anything, people are just having a good open conversation, even for kids and people at their homes and parents and things like that. Like, this really is a time in our history. So beyond anything, just people to learn to understand, when you do wrong, you might get wrong. When you do right and all that. So, I try not to. Right. He don't affect my everyday life. So.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think if there's something to be learned here is that this could be a really great civics lesson, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Civic
engagement is important. Every election counts, from the presidential election all the way down to city council. Mm-hmm. And so I take that very seriously.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to recognize 2 things. I think the first one is Congress is doing their duty, right? And I certainly hope that as we go to the next phase of this, they will continue to do their duty, and only time will tell what will happen, obviously. But
it's also true.
Right. And then I would say that the second thing is probably just as important. I do hope that everyone in the Senate votes with their conscience. Not with partisan lines and not that, but I really hope that there is some shred of decency about voting, because honestly, I forgot which politician mentioned this over the last couple of days, but it was about what example do you want to leave for your kids, right? Yeah. Or any kids, period, for that matter. So I think that's right on. Civics lesson, and let's all learn more about our government.
Absolutely, 100%. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest, Alex. I did not think this was really going to happen, or even get to this point. As we enter a new decade, it does make me a little bit optimistic about the new decade because this all takes place the decision is really going to be made in January, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah. So once I feel like that's a nice way to enter in 2020 into the new.
Show people are thinking different.
Yeah, I hope that's the case, but I don't know if that's really the case, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, it's still up in the air, and nothing's final yet. So I'm happy that it got this far, but I still am a little bit weary and not as optimistic as everyone else is about this decision.
Yeah.
Not as optimistic as everyone
No,
else.
because I think that people are like, oh, it's going to happen. He's going to get
Yeah,
impeached.
I'm
but
in the same place.
I don't know yet.
Well, just so we understand, he has been impeached.
Well, he has
A lot
been
of people
impeached,
don't, but
but
just
is he
moving
gonna be
forward,
charged?
in terms
In
of
charge,
being
right.
removed from
Removed from office,
that
right.
would require
That's
conviction
what I
in the
don't know.
Senate,
It's
just so
gonna happen,
everybody doesn't
right.
know. And that'll be set up, and they're trying to figure that out now, which McConnell's doing a great job. But I'm not even going to comment on that. I think that this has been an interesting thing that has happened to
right.
us.
It's been a soap opera.
And I think of course, we won't know what will happen until 2020. I am not very optimistic. I think it's kind of going to be what we expect from the Senate in terms of party lines, which is unfortunate because I do wish as well people would, look at their conscience a little bit more than what we got going on. But it is what it is. And if nothing else, people are now learning what impeachment actually is and what the process actually is, and that there are different levels to this. And a lot of people really didn't have a clue what was happening or what was going on or what it even meant, because a lot of people thought if he was impeached in the House, then he was out, and that's not the case.
Right.
A lot of people also thought if he was impeached, then he couldn't be running for president again.
Correct.
Yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
So I think it's in that regard about the lesson in education. I think that's fantastic, and hopefully,
But do you think, okay, I would like everyone to answer this. Do you think that what is going on right now will change the way people think about voting moving forward and who they vote for moving forward? Because there still is, even if he wasn't going to be impeached, there still was that question how many followers he has that wanted him back in the office after all the things that we know about him, everything that he's done, and made this country in a lot of ways racially worse. So what do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think everything that's been going on for the last 3 years has highlighted the importance again of being civically engaged, but also exercising your right to vote, right? So if you look at the trends, what happened from 2016 to 2018, the midterm election, and what I expect to happen in 2020 is that there's a significant higher number of people that are voting.
Right.
So that's a good thing, right? So the turnout for the 2018 midterm election was significantly higher than it was the previous one in 2014.
Sure.
So I think that's a good thing. That's a good sign. Now, because of the electoral college system, this election really gets decided in a handful of states.
It's true.
It does.
And that's because I think the solid red and the solid blue states are always going to be that way, at least for between now and the next election. But where it truly matters, those 5 to 7 states, that's where I think that's where people are getting a lot more energized right now.
Yeah.
Not only the people running for office, but also the machine that's supporting them for office, but also the voters themselves. So I sincerely hope that that'll continue to be the case, because that's how our system works.
Yeah. I think minorities are just learning that they have to vote more, and we understand, on all people of color, that if you're not speaking for yourself, how are you gonna get somebody in the building to speak for you? So
That's true.
At the end of the day, seeing those numbers, I think it'll continue. And I don't think it needs to be like we need to come out to beat the other side. But at the end of the day, you can't talk about it if you don't want to fix it. Period. So if you're not coming with a solution, you got to stop talking about it.
It's true.
So register, take that hour, even if the line's long, and do it.
Yes. Yes. And a lot of places you can vote early. You can vote early. Just do it. It's totally worth it. So hopefully, moving forward, 2020, we'll have some real interesting politics going on. Or a little less obnoxious than the last few months. It's been rough. Because if you guys actually were watching some of the hearings and stuff, it was like a bunch of angry men yelling the whole time. It was just like, come on, guys. Can we just have a conversation? But anyway, moving on. Speaking of new things happening in 2020 and what we should be looking forward to or not looking forward to in fashion. So designer Virgil Abloh, who is known for his line Off-White, and as well as he's the helm of Louis Vuitton menswear lines. And he got an interview, and they were kind of asking him, like, what going forward? It's about to be a new decade. Like, what should we expect? What should we think? What should we be wearing? What do you think about what's going to happen with streetwear in this country? Because streetwear has been such a huge part of our cultural fashion for, probably, I would say like the last 20 years at least, like streetwear has been like major. So he surprised some people by what he said. And he said, quote, wow, I would say it's gonna die, He said that he thinks that, we can't, how many more t-shirts and hoodies and sneakers can we own? He thinks that people that are gonna start to archive some of those items, and we're gonna move towards more sort of special, valuable pieces, and we'll be sticking to those, and we'll revert to our archives, but the fast and the streetwearness is kind of going to disappear, and we're not going to be rocking these hoodies and sweatpants and heels and things like that as much as we are right now. What y'all want to wear in 2020 for the next decade?
I kind of agree with him to a degree, because even though streetwear is very acceptable now, like, people are making sure their streetwear is still high class, or it's gotta be vintage. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see people wearing just too many t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they are like, this is my friends. Like, this is a vintage older hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's streetwear, it's comfortable, but best believe I didn't wear this one that I go to sleep, and I wasn't sleeping this. You know what I'm saying? So, to a degree, I feel him. It would be nice, maybe, people would just start feeling better about themselves, because when you dress good, you feel good. So maybe that's a good thing.
And I respectfully disagree with that, with his opinion, because one of the wonderful things about our country as being such a trendsetter on fashion and a number of other industries is that this, what was in fashion here, at least from an urban perspective, it just literally starts making its way into the rural areas in middle America, and then internationally in a lot of places that are, outside of the urban areas. So I see a much bigger market for all of this, into the future, right? And in the resurgence of really like old school rap and everything like that that's coming back. So I don't think. I think I agree with you that there is this the whole Class C upscale kind of stuff, and you want to own the specialty pieces.
People, sorry to cut you off, but people aren't gonna want to go to like dress pants and even jeans to an extent.
No,
like, but we're meeting in the middle on that, where it's gonna be still somewhat of like, all right, but people are not gonna lose that comfort. I'm not losing the comfort.
Right.
No,
I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? I consider myself fashion forward. I know the styles and trends that go on, and I have a little bit in my closet that's streetwear, and I got a little bit in my closet that's suits and dress up in suspenders. But I think that hip hop has affected our culture so much that I just don't see that streetwear will totally leave. Right. I mean, we have seen like the Sean Johns and Jay-Z's that now don't just wear t-shirts. I mean, Jay-Z, they do when they're on tour, but like they are wearing suits and really nice button-ups and things like that. And that has affected the culture in a lot of ways. But I still don't see streetwear being completely absent from what the existence is.
Yeah, because to the masses, it's just now getting out there to be cool in it to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those communities that just got, all this the last 5 years, honestly, since social media got there, that they were, this how people wear it? Oh, I can order this online? That just started, you know what I'm saying? So, I agree.
And I like to wear a t-shirt.
Virgil,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they should
wear a t-shirt.
I like to wear a little t-shirt and change a little cap sometimes.
I mean, I don't know. Well, I do think there's also a wave of consciousness of fashion and the industry and how it operates that's starting to expand, and the idea of fast fashion is slowly dying, because it's not the most sustainable existence as far as an industry, and it's actually exploiting quite a few workers overseas and things like that. So I do think that a lot of people are, as they are learning more about that, they are moving towards more quote-unquote luxury pieces that will become staples and mainstay in their wardrobe in a way. And for me, I would love to see more quality, affordable pieces become a thing. Because, I mean, there was a time where
That's why the Kardashians have their line, Courtney. That's why the Kardashians got it, right? You don't like that?
I mean,
I don't even really know how to respond to that. Like, I don't even really know how to respond to that. But I will say is that I think there is a movement that's slowly building where this idea where we used to be a country of people that, you maybe had like 4 or 5 dresses, two pair of pants, and a church shoe and this and that. Like, I do think there is a slow building movement, because we are still major consumerists, but a movement towards doing it a little bit more that way. Yeah. I don't know, in terms of straight fashion, I don't think we'll ever lose that, because I think we're a very casual culture to begin with.
Especially now.
Especially now, and we've sort of sat into that really well, and I'm not giving up my jeans ever, but I do think maybe we will start to purchase a little bit less, or at least be more conscious about what we're purchasing.
Yeah, and I mean, everything comes in waves. I mean, we've seen skinny jeans, but skinny jeans were a thing in a different form.
Right.
Back in the day. Same with bigger baggy sweatshirts now. You know what I mean, and t-shirts and all kind of things. And next, I don't want them to bring back parachute pants, but they kind of have.
I was gonna say
yeah, they kind of did.
At least for girls, for sure.
They did, yeah.
Jumpsuits.
And then, but he didn't really say specifically what that new fashion was. So that's why. I mean, he gave kind of like, they're gonna have more high-end pieces.
He's leaving the door open for himself.
I was just gonna say, he's the head
He's
of
at the end of the
Louis
day,
Vuitton.
he's a designer. He's trying to set himself up like, you guys don't know what's coming next, and then the first thing he drops is like, this is the new thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I would probably say it too.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see.
He's like, you don't need them t-shirts.
Right.
Come over here.
Exactly.
Sell those on eBay. Get a little $100 for that
Exactly.
old Kanye West t-shirt.
Oh.
I knew you were going to be silent on that.
No comment.
All right. On that note, we'll move on to our UR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
All right, so I thought we weren't going to be talking about this, but I guess we are again. Jussie Smollet, he may be back on Empire. So there is rumors going out right now that he may return to Empire for the 6th and final season as it comes to an end. The showrunner, Brett Mahoney, said this about Jussie. He said, it would be weird in my mind to end this family show and drama of which he was such a significant part without seeing him. It would be disturbing to not bring him back, but there's been no decision made, and they're still kind of in the works of talking about if he's really going to appear. Do you think that this is a good or bad idea for the show? Well, you think people will watch? Because I'm actually like, the ratings might go up.
People will watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to watch.
Yeah. You think it's a bad decision, though, or no?
I think it's kind of like when you know that family across the street that's crazy, that you just know they got a lot of stuff going on. It's just not your family's business.
Right.
At the end of the day, however them producers feel and the creators and the writers and all that, that's their family. If they want to eat Thanksgiving dinner after all that shit, like, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool, do it. It'll be great for their ratings.
Right.
That's what I think about it.
And I think in television, primarily in the U.S., but around the world, because this is such a popular show outside of the U.S. too, is everybody likes a comeback story, right? Everybody wants, regardless, everybody likes a comeback, that kind of thing. So, while I agree that there is this organic way of bringing him back into the storylines, which I think is important, and this probably it'd be kind of odd if he wasn't part of the show and as they're wrapping up the show and wrapping up all the storylines. I do think, and I'm the eternal optimist, so you hear me right.
No, it's all good.
You can refer to my answer about Trump, right? No, it's really more about like, hey, let's get beyond all that we went through,
for the integrity of the show, you know what I'm saying, as well, just to make that come out good, like whatever's going behind the scenes.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's back, right? So no, I hope he goes back on the show, and I think people will watch.
Courtney.
I mean, I think it'll be interesting, and it makes perfect sense creatively. Like, obviously, he didn't die on the show, so it makes sense that the character comes back and does his thing. Whether or not this is, I mean, because I left Empire alone like 3 years ago. I cannot move. These earrings are terrible. I'm sorry, guys. They are shaking like crazy. So, nonetheless, I wonder what this would mean for his full career.
Right.
Like,
That's
if it will
interesting
open
question.
the doors back up, or will people kind of just be like, well, we just needed you for this, bro. You out. Like, I don't really know how people in general will respond and the industry will respond, but good for him. He needs a check, I'm sure.
I'm sure he needs that
I
check.
think he's
that's
still
what I'm
trying
saying.
to sue Chicago, and I think Chicago's
Still trying to sue him. Yeah.
Chicago got a lot more money.
Yeah, Chicago's got a lot more money. Yeah, I mean, listen, strategically it's smart for the show, and as we know, people of color, especially black people, are very forgiving to our talent. And I think that if he came back to the show, or if he comes back to the show, that we will watch it and support it and wish for him to still, even though we're mad at him, we would still wish for him to be able to further his career after that. I don't know if the world is ready to accept that quite yet. I still have my own feelings about maybe if he dropped this lawsuit and stopped talking about certain things in media,
Like,
then maybe
give it
I would
up.
be more forgiving to him with what happened, what he did, or what he says he didn't do.
Didn't do it.
Which we know you did it, Jussie. But
Allegedly.
allegedly you did it. But listen, I don't want him to not be able to eat. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's but he also, if for what he did, he needs to be more remorseful about it. So I don't, but
But if he's remorseful, then he's admitting guilt, so he can't do that.
Exactly. He's just stuck in the middle,
He's
yo.
stuck. Yeah, he need to go back, if they ask him back, do the best job he's ever done as an actor ever in life.
Kill it.
And then he needs to go to like Canada and Africa and just sing somewhere that
Start
we don't
over.
know anything about, and then come back in like 3 years.
Just reboot it.
And just come back in like 3 years, and we'll be like, oh, hey, Jussie, we forgot. And it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I do agree with what you said about it's about the work. Right?
Yeah.
Do the best possible job you can in that last season. Go away for a while and then come back in one of these brilliant independent films
Exactly.
and just be unrecognizable and do this. Oh, wow.
Do something
And we'd be
different
like,
than what
And
you
a
did
different
before.
life than you see before, and then
Yeah.
you sort of transform yourself. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by then we would have another 2 or 3 years probably of Trump, and we'd be done forgot what we did altogether.
Like just brainwashed.
We'll be
We're
like,
like, wait, what? What happened?
We'll be
Jussie,
so
oh
out of
yeah,
it.
Jussie.
right,
He used to go to
It
Empire,
wouldn't
right?
even matter.
Right,
Like, they'd be like,
right.
what was Empire? Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, he'll be
Jussie
good.
runs for president.
Jussie runs for president.
2028.
2028. Right. Yeah. Ooh. All right. Well, speaking of things that have gone and come back, my show, The Game,
Reboot.
is rebooting like a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's coming back. It started off on CW 13 years ago.
That's crazy.
13 years ago. It's crazy. So Mara Brockett-Kill was one of the creators of the show, and Devin Gregory as well. And so they're doing a reboot that's coming back to CW, ironically. And the show is going to take a little bit of a different transition. It was in San Diego based originally, and then now they're going to have a more East Coast flavor to it. And they're not saying much yet about the show, but they are saying that several of the original cast members will be coming back. And as we know, a lot of people became stars off of that. Jay Ellis, who's been on BHL many times, Wendy Raquel Robinson, Colby Bell, Tia Mari Hardrick, Brittany Daniels, and Pooch Hill. I mean, just some of the cast members. Brandy Norwood was on the show as well. So I definitely am down for this show to come back. It was a great show. They said it's a hour long.
They're gonna make it an hour
long drama. So I'm wondering if they're just concluding some storylines. Like, this is taking place like currently where they're at in their new life. But I'm like, just an hour with all those characters should be interesting as well. What do y'all think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the show. I wasn't like the biggest fan, but I definitely know I get the show.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just feel like they really gotta kill the storyline if they're gonna keep it like a full hour, and just really keep it, not have too much going on, just pick a couple really strong things to run with, what I'm saying? Especially with it changing, and a lot of people probably don't know the show, so especially when reboots, you get a whole another demographic, so you don't want them to be too confused if they didn't see when it first was on and just things like that. But I mean, I love the cast. I think it'll be a success.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're in good hands with their creators, but they're also, I think, in better hands with that network. I mean, now they have a really strong track record of rebooting shows and to your point, finding new audiences, right, to broaden the thing. I'm not quite sure if the drama aspect could work. I mean, it could be interesting as a really point of differentiation, right, versus before bringing a broader audience. But what I like about the CW is that they've done a really great job of capitalizing on a very specific audience in a way that gives a lot of us an opportunity to be seen too. That's the other thing, right? I mean, that's which is wonderful. And then, have you noticed that network has only really good looking people in it?
Yes.
Like every show, even the superheroes shows,
the superheroes
like all of them,
are-
it's like everyone's incredibly good
attractive.
looking. So I expect that the game's
Yeah.
reboot is going to be a bunch of really pretty
Super
faces.
sexy.
Yeah, and they
It's
are
gonna
very
be
good-looking
super
cast as
sexy.
it was.
To begin with,
right? So
Yeah.
they didn't have
It'll
far
be
to like
super
pull from.
sexy.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to see who they actually bring back.
I'm really interested, especially because like Hosea Chanchez, who played I forget what his character's name was on the show, but he was like the main quarterback in the beginning. He like tweeted about it, and I'm like, wait, are they gonna bring him back? Like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Because I was a huge fan when they first did it on the CW for the first. I think they did 4 seasons or something on the CW, and then it went to BET. I wasn't such a fan, and Mara left eventually from the BET version, so that kind of shifted how it was written. So I was super excited to see that Mara's back. I'm interested in why they made this choice. Like, it kind of surprised me that CW actually did this, because it didn't quite, I mean, an hour drama from Mara, like, I don't know if it really aligns with what they've been doing on CW.
Right.
I mean, yes, it'll be hot and young people, but like, they really did go for a while. Like, they were really sticking with the superheroes and the supernatural and kind of like feeding to that audience. So when I heard that announced, I was kind of surprised, like, Where did that come from? What?
I think it does, actually, only
I'll be
because
excited.
I think what worked for them really, really great was Jane the Virgin, right? Jane
Yes,
the
it
Virgin
did.
worked for them really well, and also, my crazy.
Oh,
Ex-girlfriend.
Crazy ex-girlfriend,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So I think that they found part of their audience is in that.
It's still there.
It's still there,
Yeah.
and I think having the game being rebooted in a in a 1 hour drama that can actually fall naturally into that as part of a.
That'd feel better because
It's part of a bigger-
that audience isn't being fed for them right now.
Not right
because they
now,
just
so I think
yeah,
it could
that's
really
true.
it could
That's
think it
really
work
true.
if it has a good companion piece,
Yeah.
right? A good
Yeah.
companion show, whatever
Yeah.
that might be.
I just find it overall interesting how much reboots that we do, from movies
Oh, yeah.
to TV shows. 90210.
Yeah,
I mean,
we do a lot.
we do
Did
a lot.
anybody watch the last night's temporary reboot of Good Times and All in the Family?
I saw one.
You saw Good Times?
Oh, the
Good
live
time,
studio
yeah.
audience.
Yeah, the live studio on
right,
ABC.
right.
You weren't happy?
I mean, I still like the original.
Wait, which one did? Well, obviously you like the original. Who doesn't like the original? That's why they brought it back
Well, what'd you think
for
of it?
one night. I was actually surprised I wasn't mad, so that's always a good sign.
Well, that's a good sign.
When you watch
Yeah.
it, you're like, okay, you didn't like trash it.
Right.
Would I have chosen some different people for some things?
I
Absolutely.
think that was more of my issue.
But I didn't think it was that bad, and I actually thought when they did All in the Family and Jeffersons the first time, I thought that was really good. I enjoyed
Right.
it.
Yeah.
This one, I didn't think it lived quite up to it, but it still was good.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job.
Well, we'll see.
Derrial clearly did not.
It was all right. It was all
I was
right.
into it.
Well, okay.
JJ wasn't there. I'm
JJ
sorry.
was not there.
He
No,
wasn't there.
no.
It's
So,
true.
well, we'll see what happens with the game. I'll be watching it. If it
Yeah,
comes
I'll
on,
definitely
so.
be checking it out.
I'll
I
be
watch
checking it out.
everything Mara does.
All right, well, let's talk about current projects.
I know, what
and you
these
both
guys
have
got
a
going
lot of exciting
on.
things going on. We're going to start with Dana right now. Now,
Yeah.
you're an actor as well, but you came here to talk about music today.
Yes, sir.
You know, you got a new album, Familiar Strangers, latest single, Lovey Dovey, and you're killing it, man. Like,
Thank you.
You're doing big things.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, being at the end of 2019 now, I'm blessed to have done all that I did this year in music and even dance and acting. So yeah, I mean, it's been my baby for the whole year. I came out November 1st. It's a little 6-song EP, all handwritten and produced by me. And yeah, my fans have been taking it well. I've been getting to new audiences and all that type of stuff that we've been talking about. And got to perform this summer, well, not this summer, this fall actually, with Jordan Jones. He's another
That's
artist.
big.
Yeah, open for
Right.
her.
Yeah.
So it's great. Going into next year, I got some other things lined up as well, and just pushing, man. I'm young. I'm just ready, you know. So.
What
Young
would
and
you-
talented.
No, young, talented, and cute. So how would you describe what the sound of the EP and what your vibe is?
So with my favorite artist being Jill Scott, and taking a lot of influence from Usher and the way he delivers some of his things, and Frank Ocean, and then putting my own
Little spin.
self into it. You know what I'm saying? Just that's what I listen to. You know, writing and just trying to learn. It's just it feels good. It feels genuine. You know what I'm saying? Like I write all my songs from a place of really myself. I don't write for a specific audience. I just feel like whatever I put out, that is my audience.
Right.
So they're gonna come. But it's just real kind of first time experiences with a new lover or a new situation like that. Got a song called Sweet Tea, just real quick. I never met the girl, but from base when I'm looking at her, you know sweet tea ain't good for you. You got a bunch of sugar, it's probably gonna give you diabetes, but you don't care. It's true. And that was kind of with her. I was like, she looked good. Probably not the best for me right now, but shit, I'm only in the South for a day, so let me, you know what I'm saying? Just certain things like that where it's very real, you know what I'm saying? I like a lot of metaphors. I really enjoy writing. I'm not, it's gonna be hooky. You're gonna remember it, but I don't like to just shove that down people's throats. So yeah, go check it out. It's on Spotify, Apple, all that stuff. Say it to Alexa, you know.
What's your favorite track?
Mine, it's probably a song called Nervous, and it was the last song that I threw last minute.
Okay.
And yeah, it was no plan. I made the track with my boy Max, and it just had the melody in my head kind of while I was doing it, and I was like, all right, well, the EP is supposed to come out in a week and a half, but I want to put it on there. And I think just that, because it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
And I got to use a lot of old analog gear. We used like an old Prophet to make it, MPC drums, all things like that. So it's got a real timeless feel behind it too.
And to give us a little 10-second little acapella version of the song, your favorite line on that little track. No pressure, man. It's all good.
Because I got some bars, yo. I'm telling you.
Or sing us something simple that you like. Just give a little taste to the audience of the voice.
What can I even sing?
You can even do Jill Scott if you want. Whatever you want.
What song? You gon' make me say it. You say just how I'm feeling. Something's about to go down. But I'm brave enough to face it. And then it's called Rough Rider.
See, I knew he was into it. I saw the veins popping. I was like, man, I wish I could sing. I'm a shower singer, but,
It's hard to think. Like, I am a singer, like, but when somebody says that, I have 10 songs in my head at one point.
Like, oh
I'm
no,
like,
which lyrics?
Exactly, but no, listen to the whole project. I really try to take a lot of, pride in my lyrics, because you can say the same thing 40 ways.
Yeah.
So
We'll pick up that album and watch that video.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Alex.
Yes.
Castillo.
All right, so Clemency. We are approaching award season.
Right.
And it's all the buzz.
It's all the buzz, and you are in it. And I know that you had a big transformation doing the character that you did, Victor. So tell us about that.
Okay. All right. Well, Clemency is Shinoya Chukwu's award-winning film. She made history as the first African-American woman to ever win the Grand Jury Prize at Sundance.
Yes.
I will do anything that woman would ever ask me to do in the future because she gave me one of the biggest gifts, which is, to answer your question, I play dads and cops normally.
Yeah.
Is the voice, the deep voice, right?
You got that, yeah.
You got
Get that voice and the
voice.
demeanor.
Authority.
Or victims that are dads and cops. I've been killed a bunch of times. But the reason I bring that up is because I never imagined in a million years that I would actually get to play such a incredibly layered, complex character, which is Victor Jimenez, which is an inmate, a death row inmate facing execution. And Shinoya, I don't know what you saw in me, and I'll forever be grateful. But the bottom line is that it was the wonderful thing about this film is that it's a death row drama that doesn't really give you any direction as to how you should feel about the death penalty or capital punishment. What it does is just brings up the subject. And what's really interesting and unique about this film is that it tells the story from the point of view of those who carry out the executions. So the unbelievable Alfre Woodard, who is the lead of the film. Legendary.
Yes.
Greatest living actor. One of the best, amazing, most generous human beings I've ever met, plays Bernadine Williams, who is the warden of this prison, that after seeing one too many executions is now getting ready for the next one. And the toll that takes on her and her team and the people. Not only, we often see a very dramatized version of prison dramas, right? Lots of big fights and lots of dramatic sequences and scenes and all that kind of thing. This one is a very, very nuanced character study of those who carry out the executions, those who are in the system, my people, your people, let me tell you that, which we can talk about that in a second. But also it really gives you a very unfiltered look at what happens between prison walls. And Shinoya did such an incredible job. She's the real deal. I mean, she literally spent a number of years researching the script, spending a lot of time volunteering on clemency cases, and overall gave me the confidence to be part of this film. And to answer the first part of your question, she gave me a blueprint as to who Victor Jimenez was. And it was my responsibility to find the humanity in Victor. And that's something that I really learned from a lot of Alfre's work in the past. She is one of these quintessential actors that just finds the humanity in whoever she's playing and builds the character from there. So Shinoya gave me a blueprint. I found the humanity in Victor. And, oftentimes we think of people who are in prison, particularly those in death row or in life in prison, as some that happens to them. It's over there. It's not about me, that kind of thing. But in the end, they're human beings. The men and women who are in the system, have been in the system, or will eventually be in the system, or that. So that allowed me to just sort of find the human being in Victor. And then from a physical perspective, I lost 20 pounds. Head shaved. I'm all tatted up.
Were you in a specific diet, or how did you even?
You know what I normally do when I lose weight for a role, I heavy up on protein and fat and stop eating carbs.
Isn't that like a keto diet?
It's kind of a little bit of a keto
keto.
diet, but
Okay.
I also do intermittent fasting.
Okay.
So basically, I stop eating like at 5 o'clock, and I don't eat again until 10 o'clock the next morning. But
Yeah.
but it does work. You know, it does
No,
work.
I'm sure. I'll just.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know how to do that
You don't
myself.
have to. You don't have to worry about that like that because you're like, you know, you what
Yeah.
are you 18? You know, 20 years old, right? And trust me.
21.
20.
it's like I'm legal, y'all.
No, but it was a true transformation, and I will tell you that it is. I am so excited for the film to come out. It opens in theaters.
January.
It actually in
December
in
27th.
LA and New York, December 27th,
Yeah.
and then it expands nationwide in January and internationally through the rest of 2020.
Okay.
So everyone go check it out.
Yeah.
Well,
incredible.
you've been in this game for a little bit. You've done TV, you've done film.
Right.
As a Latino actor, are you seeing? Because you mentioned how in this film you got a chance to do something different and a different character than what you normally have been cast for.
Right.
Are you finding it now in Hollywood that we see an overabundance more of streaming services that are offering roles to people of color? Are you seeing a lot more chances to get those diverse roles as a Latino actor?
The short answer is yes, with a big caveat, which is there is a significant amount of demand out there for, or increased demand for for people like myself and other Latinos, generally, people of color generally. And there's a significant number of actors out there, very talented actors. There's this little tiny funnel in between the demand and the supply of the reps and the networks and the studios and everybody like that you have to go through.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. The way to get there is still incredibly tough and incredibly challenging, and not only for actors. I mean, for musicians,
Musicians, yeah.
for
It's changed
athletes,
for both.
for everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody who's in some sort of entertainment business. But I'm hopeful. I think to your point about the number of streaming services, the number of networks, the number of projects, and I do think that there is a significant more opportunities out there. Now we just have to figure out a way to get there.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, so just to add on to that, I feel like it's good that those storylines and those characters are now being put out there, so it becomes once again more normal. But like we were talking about with even Congress and all that, what I'm saying, we need to go out as vote. We as the entertainers need to keep pushing and doing that so
Right.
that we get those types of people in there.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna just do another plug, you know what I'm saying? But I'm on
Please do.
I'm on this Netflix show that comes out next year. It's Mindy Kaling's show, so she's doing it. I
Sure.
don't know if they put out the title yet. I don't want to get fired for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
NDAs are real.
But a story. It's a coming of age story of a young Indian girl, and even for me, and I'm not Indian or anything like that, but just to be on a show that is a big project, and they're really telling this story that I've actually never seen. You know what I'm saying? Even to the guy, I've never seen a mainly Indian almost cast, especially being young. You know what I'm saying? That isn't playing a doctor or something. You know what I'm saying? That truthfully is like that. So once again, I think it is a step in the direction. It comes out next year. I'm in the hot pocket in high school. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
If I can add just one more thing, I think where the biggest opportunity lies is for those behind the camera.
Yeah.
In terms of Latinos, right? Everybody from the executive level to showrunners to writers, directors, producers, anybody. That's where the biggest opportunity lies. Because to your point, I think that it's really critically important. Our stories, people of color generally, are very universal stories. They're family stories.
Absolutely.
They truly are, right? And I think if you think about those that have been successfully made mainstream, generally whether it's television or film, it's still a very universal story, whether it's about family, whether it's about careers, or whether it's about love, that just happens to have blacks in it, or Latinos, or
Exactly.
Asians, that kind of thing.
That's true.
So I think, again, more importantly, I think what the bigger opportunity is really for those that are, really behind the camera and running the business. So we just have to get out there and get out there.
Yeah, and it seems like, we now, when we look at even things like Queen and Slim, we were having this conversation where
wanna see
that film could have been written for, in the years before, it would have been written for someone white, I feel like.
Right.
And now they're more open for people of color to take on these roles and be the lead characters in these different types of films that aren't your traditional, same type of storyline each time. So that seems exciting and promising for what's coming in the future. And we are seeing a lot more of us and people of color behind the camera, writing the stories, directing, producing, and all that. And that's what's going to open up the envelope. And you write yourself into your own project if you really want to.
That's the point.
That goes musically
that's,
as well.
That's why
what I mean?
Queen and Slim happened. She literally said, "I'm not taking any information pressure from white people. I wrote what I wrote it,
Right.
with black people for black people to do it, and if white people want to join, have a great time. But otherwise, it's my thing. And I
Right.
think it goes back to what you said. It's when you're behind the scenes in an empowered position, you make those decisions.
People just have to appreciate a story. Period. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
You can't want to hear the same story from a different person. It depends if you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just opening up a lot of things like that, and even people on my close friends, and even things like that. Like, we're all just at a point where it's just like, oh, you've really been through some stuff, and it's just like, I've been telling you, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you gotta see it on TV, and you gotta see it here. You gotta be with me in the car when I ride past the cop. You know what I'm saying? To really like get it. Like, why are you tripping? Have you checked Twitter? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't play with that. So
For sure.
And I think what you said earlier about your music and the songs that are the most resonate with people are the ones that mean the most to you, right?
Exactly.
Because they come from a genuine place. They're important to
they're
you.
listening genuinely, so you
Right,
give
exactly,
them
right.
some back. Yeah.
And then you kind of mentioned your next project, but is that the newest thing that's come outside of the music, but you're working on the
that's coming out somewhere. I know probably within the first quarter. They don't have an exact release. I don't want to say it. I got some shows coming up, West Coast. I'm opening up for another artist on the tour that is even more exciting than I did this year. So that's coming up. More music videos. I put a lot of time into them. And just check on my stuff. I'm always creative and just trying to connect with my fans in new ways. And I have merch out as well that I actually am kind of proud about. I try to make merch, on my own Virgil level that I want to wear it too.
Yeah. Is it streetwear?
It is streetwear, but they're nice hoodies.
See, streetwear ain't dead.
Yeah, and I'm really trying to get more behind the scenes in the music as well. I've I don't know if you guys know 1500 or nothing, but a great production group. Boot Up, Nipsey Hussle's last project, really, everything. But I was just in the studio with them for the last week, and just starting to write for more, A-list artists and get myself in on that side as well as I'm doing me on the front end for me as Dana Vaughns, but also me getting my name on that paper behind the scenes as well for other people. So
get that check.
Yes, sir.
And where can fans find you on social media?
At Dana Vaughns. My last name is spelled Vaughns. I'm not Vince Vaughn.
Alex, what exciting things you got coming up besides award season and all the buzz about your film?
Well, we're excited for award season, and that's upon us, and it'll be here for a couple more months, which is exciting. It's always fun to be part of that pomp and circumstance. I am going to be in two other indie films. One is called Turn Left, is another female-directed, female-produced, female-written show. It's that's shooting this summer, which I'm excited about, and I get to play the managing partner of a law firm. So that's a completely different position. I'll transform myself into that. But I'm also shooting the next project that I'm really excited about is it's called In the Desert of Dark and Light, and it's an indie drama, 3 intersecting storylines. And I'm going to be playing a Special Forces Guatemalan commando, a former that. So I get to transform myself into that too.
Okay.
So
right.
I'm actually
totally extremely different.
extremely different things. But I'm really excited about that one. I like what you said earlier about hey, we gotta. I'm working with a filmmaker specifically to write this and to make sure that we put myself in it, right, kind of thing, right? So it's been great. So that's what's coming up.
And where can fans find you on social media?
Instagram Castillo Alex 2000 and Twitter Castillo Alex.
All right.
And when can they check out Clemency?
Again, Clemency opens in theaters in New York and Los Angeles December 27th, and then it starts expanding nationwide the week after into 2020.
Check out the film. Courtney?
I'm all over social media at Stewart Starlet and hopefully hiding in my house for the rest of 2019.
With my dog?
Yes, with your dog.
You'll be babysitting my dog. All right, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Derrial, Christon, and also on CBS as we're wrapping up the season. This is LA, lifestyle show that I'm a host on as well. And you can catch old episodes on CBS.com and YouTube. But I'll be eating a lot, probably in Ohio with my family. And hopefully getting some rest and watching some movies.
Everybody should get rest. Seriously.
Checking out Clemency.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, happy end of the year.
I know.
2020.
End of the
happy
decade.
New decade.
Yeah.
Happy Trump impeachment. No.
We're not allowed to say that.
We're not allowed
it's
to
a
say
very
it.
sad time.
I'm kidding.
It's a very sad.
On a happy note. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2020.
All
Peace.
right.
See ya.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.